Mark, you got 2 minutes.
What a minute. I look out here today, right? And I think there's going to be a reoccurring theme as we get through these couple speakers here about how much we love Stevie and how great he is and how awesome he is. It's all true. It's all true. I've known Steve since the 80s. We worked together at La Platte and Apex and Team Cone and Beck's North America. And when it got into the 90s and Steve actually hired me from a distributor over in Melbourne, and that's when our bromance started. So we had this great relationship. We worked together forever, and we started traveling the world. No, it's okay. Listen, he's a tough friggin' act to follow, dude. 15 minutes my answer is up here for an hour and 20 minutes. It's freaking unbelievable. I love the guy so much. Listen, Steve, you've been loved. And this is a true testament to the person you are. Not just your employees, not just the people you've worked with, not just your family, but everybody. Friends of family. Friends of the friends of families. You've done everything. You've always been here for everybody, Steve, and you always will. You're that kind of person. First time I met you, I knew you were a very unique individual, okay? So, there's a lot of stories. Steve and I actually, when we got into work with Beck's North America, we traveled the world. I'm talking Maine to Spain, St. Louis to Lisbon. And I've been implored to not say a lot of our, I've kept all these little things in here, and I wanted to say, or tell you all a couple stories. I just can't do it. We're not roasting Steve, we're celebrating 40 years, okay? So, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell at least one little story. Again, Steve's always been there for everyone.
Hey, Mark, can you give me just a second?
Yeah.
Hey, if everybody could kind of tone it down a little bit. If you guys could just pay attention to Mark for a little bit, we'd really appreciate it. It's getting just a little bit loud in here.
I'm pretty goddamn good looking. What you guys
So we
doing?
can't hear the man. Continue, Mark.
There was a day when they'd all have their eyes on me. This is a fucking long time ago. Anyway, thank you, honey. I appreciate that one. Anyway, so where was I? Known Steve forever. He's the greatest thing on earth, and we all know it, and that's why we're here. True testament. He's touched everybody. He's always been there for everyone, okay? So I'd like to tell one little story when Steve actually needed me, okay? So we're in Portugal. I think it was the trip we went to. There's a few that could attest to this. London, Germany, St. Andrews, Portugal. We're terrorizing. We're animals. We're partying all night. One night we have a party and there's monkey brains and zebra tongue. I'm not lying. Steve might have had some of this because the next morning we got up and everybody was making their way to Rock of Gibraltar or wherever, and I had to get Steve out of bed, and we mosey on down the cobblestone roads into this little village in Portugal, Faro, Portugal. Steve can't handle it. I walk in, there's this old guy coming up with this cobblestone bar, and he says, come on in, broken English. I go up there, pound a couple beers. Steve won't even go in the door. And I said, my buddy needs a little help. And basically, he makes a concoction for Steve. And he's whipping it, man. He's got friggin' eye of newt. He's got all kinds of shit in there, right? And Steve finally comes in the door and sucks this thing down, and the old guys are laughing like hell. And ends up going outside, projectile vomiting from the depths of hell, okay? And the old ladies are hanging out the cobblestone windows. No, get out of here. Okay, it was crazy. So this is where Stevie needed me. On the way back to the hotel, I had to pick Steve up, carry him on my back, all 276 pounds of him. Okay. and all the way up 2.5 miles to the hotel, and I tucked Steve away. And that was the one time that Stevie actually needed my help. And he has been there for me forever and ever. He's one of my dearest friends, and you're one of the greatest people I've ever known in my life. And we love you. Okay? Appreciate it, man. Love you. Next up, Charlie Mans.
No, we're gonna help upstairs.
Yeah, you're gonna go up the stairs.